Of all the preamps I own, I have to say the Neve stuff really sounds the best for drums, especially when you're talking about hard-hitting performances and when there's a lot of low frequencies. I just picked up my second Neve, this one being a clone of the 1084 model made by BAE Audio. This might really be one of the best Neve options for drums, just because of how well you can shape the sound between the preamp and EQ. Let's listen to how this channel strip compares against stock preamps. I'll share with you all the settings that I use for today's samples. We're going to start with the bass drum in position. I'll be using an AKG D112 with the front part of the grill about 9 inches inside the drum. That mic is going to go through a splitter. One side will go straight to my interface and the other side will go to my BAE 1084. I'm going to run that unit hot with the gain at about 35 decibels. So I'm going to have to then go through a 20 pad attenuator after that unit. I'm also going to have to pull down the output trim on the unit. Again, this is just so I don't clip. For the EQ, we're going to use a boost cut boost approach. We're going to first boost at 110 Hertz, cut at 1.6 kilohertz, and then boost at 10 kilohertz. 3 dots of gain will be used on each. I'm also going to be using the filters. Because that high and low frequencies are shelving and not bell, there's going to be a lot of frequencies that get boosted that we don't want or don't care about, and that's going to muddy up the mix. In this case, the high pass filter will be set to 45 Hertz and the low pass will be set to 14 kilohertz. Let's jump over to the bass drum out position. This time I'm going to be using Beyerdynamics bass drum mic about 2 inches away from the Rezo head. To keep things simple, we'll use the same EQ settings as last time, though we'll adjust the gain and output knob a little bit. By the way, if you are using a high pass filter on that bass drum mic on the out position, you should really also use something like a moon mic. I'll include a link in the description with more info on what a moon mic is, along with info on the 2 bass drum mics I'm using. Let's switch over to the toms. We're going to start off with my 10-inch tom, top side, with a small diaphragm condenser. Now, because of the frequency points available on the unit and the frequencies that this drum is going to produce, it's a bit harder to do a good boost cut boost approach with this. So instead, we're going to try something different. We're going to boost all of the frequency bands, and we're going to just try to really bring out the attack. This time, our frequency points will be 220 Hertz, 3.2 kilohertz, and 12 kilohertz. Our filters will be set as 70 Hertz and 18 kilohertz. Next up will be my 16-inch floor tom. For this, because of all the low frequencies it's producing, I find that a large diaphragm condenser works better. So here I'm using an AKG C414. I'll include a link in the description with more details on that. These EQ points are going to be similar to the bass drum, although the mid band is going to be a little different. Here we're going to boost at 110 Hertz, cut at 700, and then boost again at 10 kilohertz, the amount we're boosting and cutting is also going to be slightly different. Filters will be set at 45 Hz and 14 kilohertz. Okay, last but not least, snare drum. I prefer using Sure's Beta 57 on this. I find it has a much fuller sound when compared to the SM57. If you're interested in a comparison of how those two sound, I'll include a link in the description for that. The EQ bands on the snare, that's going to boost at 220 Hz, cut at 1.6 kilohertz, and boost again at 10 kilohertz. Filters will be at 70 Hz and 18 kilohertz. So did you guys prefer the Neve on any particular sound source? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Now, of course, these Neve units are not cheap, so you may be wondering, can emulation do just as good of a job? Well, I have a little hardware versus software comparison that you can find right over here or in the description below. Until next time, peace.